Greetings and welcome to another edition of Top 10 Worst Ofs, the finest and worst of lists in the entire worst of diaspora, voted number one in worst of lists by Top 10 Worst of Quarterly, 3.5 quarters in a row. Also the recipient of the Triple Sapphire Award for Best Worst of Lists 3 years running. I'm your host for today's Odyssey, Ty Knotts, and what a pleasure it is, an honor, in fact, to be your guide through a tour of the great unknown, where we will delve into some of the greatest taboos in our society. And I'm not talking about, well, they'll sort of try to pigeonhole, they'll try to project to all of us that taboos are always salacious and seductive and sexual in nature, but that's not true. The greatest taboos in our society are curiosity. And trying to overcome the compulsion towards ignorance that our society. Notice how we have phrases in our society that are just so commonplace, such as curiosity killed the cat. Curiosity killed nothing, not even, especially not cats. And ignorance is bliss. Wow, they came up with a good one for that, didn't they? We all know those two, curiosity killed the cat and ignorance is bliss. We know that, but where's knowledge is liberating. Huh? No, not familiar to you? Of course not. Because the people who are in control of our society are also in control of our language, right? So they can limit the scope of everything that we know by excluding the, as Donald Rumsfeld used to call it, the unknown unknowns. There's things out there that exist that we can't possibly even comprehend because there's no conceptual framework to be able to grasp it fully. There's no language that will accommodate it. There's no ideals that are, sort of manifest in our cultural apparatuses that allow us to contemplate elements that are, like, do you really think that out of all of the things that people have thought of and dreamt up, that the only political means of being able to organize the economy of a society is either communism or capitalism? You don't think that there's, or socialism, whatever. You don't think that there's other ways of going about it where you can maybe make sure that the rich, the greedy people, get to wet their beak pretty significantly, but they are excluded from taking part in government or in the organization of our cultural mechanisms whatsoever? No more corporations in our cultural mechanisms. No more corporations meddling with our politicians. You don't think they can figure out how to do that? Or that but until we have a name for it, we can't conceptualize it in order to be able to make it manifest in our world. We don't have the word for it. Philanthropism or something. I don't know what it is. What do you think I am? A total know-it-all? But there are these things out there that we can't know because there's no definition for it, because they control all of our thoughts by virtue of controlling all of our language, by controlling the dialogue within our culture from soup to nuts. And nuts is the perfect word for it, because that's what it's wound up, turning us all into, nuts. And this is the perfect top 10 list I got for you that's I think it's going to be maybe not the entire path towards liberation and equity for all, but I think it's a good couple of first steps. It's top 10 spin-offs of the, quote, leave the gun, take the cannoli line from The Godfather. Okay? Now, I'm not a big fan of The Godfather. Everybody's, The Godfather's a great movie. Shut up, you ignoramuses. Godfather is a piece of garbage. It's trying to turn us into a bunch of functional morons, mouth-breathing brainstems. It is nothing more than an attempt to glamorize criminality so that we'll all, lots of us will think that that's a cool thing to be. They don't show kids getting caught in the crossfire. They don't show slums where people are all strung out on the drugs that they market and distribute for the CIA. They don't show people, whose lives are ruined because their family members got caught up in this hyper-violent garbage. They only show the glamorous, super great-looking movie actors walking around like James Caan and Marlon Brando's and Michael's what is that guy's name? Al Pacino's. And it's just like, oh, you look at this stuff and it's mind-bending is what it is. And by the end of it, you're looking like, oh, those guys are so cool. I wish I had a family like like the Taglias or whatever. Corleone's. But it's a distortion in our minds. It's social engineering. It's not a good movie at all. It's evil. It's venal. It's toxic. It's poisonous. It's corrupted our souls on cellular level. That's why I don't like it. I don't like it one bit, to be honest with you. In case you haven't noticed, I figured it out for yourself. But that doesn't mean I can't make fun of it. And the fact is that, hey, like The Godfather is just like, something that people know. So as long as I'm not trying to promote the criminality of it or, preface my entire premise with a caveat saying, do not do this at home. These people should be crafted to be hideous looking and scary. And the minute you see them, you're like, oh my God, that's like living death. When people saw Frankenstein, the original Frankenstein, when it came out, people died. They were so scared they died. That's what the people in The Godfather should look like. They should be so scary that people go to see The Godfather, they die. They're like, this is the scariest thing I've ever seen. That's the movie. It's like the same with airbags, right? I've talked about this in previous episodes. Like, airbags make, like a comfortable soft landing. If you're driving recklessly, you got 20, 30 different airbags or something like that come at you from every different conceivable angle. But what if the airbags were deadly? Like if there were poison spines that would shoot out at your face and neck if you got even the slightest little fender bender, right? They'd shoot at your eyes. These 6-inch needles with curare and feces tipped, and they're shooting right at you, and you knew this, okay? They're like, whatever, it's death bags or whatever. I don't know what you're going to call it, trademark-wise. But I think that, people will be like, they knew that if any kind of fender bender is immediate death. Or, to make it more fun, for people that, were going to buy family cars or minivans or something like that, you aim all the death needles at the passenger seats so your whole family dies and you get to live. So, like, you just have to live with it forever. But I'm serious. There would never be another accident ever. I mean, you have to have like a meteor strike from the sky of pieces of Skylab falling out of, crushing your car for there to be an accident. People would be driving so cautiously. They know that the minute even even if you hit a deer or something like that, it's immediate death for your entire family. and a lifetime full of anguish for the driver. I mean, but that's the type of thing that it needs to be. We've got this all wrong. Making a comfortable accident for people is what allows them, it gives them a carte blanche to drive 150 miles down the expressway. And they do. In significant numbers. And they risk everybody else's life around them. They don't give a rat's ass, just as long as they can get to the side piece in time to cut a nut and get home in time for dinner. That's all they care about. And the airbags facilitate that. Or, how about this? How about you put the airbags on the outside of the car so that the people that you hit are protected, but you die? That could work, So your recklessness has the least amount of impact on everybody except you because it's your recklessness. Ah, it'd be so grand. Oh, if I could only control the world for just, I don't know, maybe 30, 40, 35 years, something. Oh, yes, it'd be good. Anyway, so here, what we have, and I think this needs a little bit of explanation. There's a line in the movie The Godfather where, I don't know, it's another one of these cutesy, this is a total brainwashing dealio, that where it's supposed to be funny, like a little bit of levity and some, oh, these guys are so cool that they're committing murder, and they're worried about a box of cannolis that they're going to bring back for their nana or whatever the hell. and we're like, watching that going like, oh, how cute, the funny line about the cannolis, take the cannolis, leave the gun. So he murders somebody, leaves the gun and takes the cannolis, and that's a big line in the movie. Like, okay, there's your comedy relief, so we can keep, sort of, and not get it too dry, too heavy-handed and whatnot. But that's what I'm talking about for brainwashing. That is exactly zeroing in on it. Because now we're thinking, oh, they're so cute and so family-oriented. He's so nice. He's bringing his nana some cannolis or whatever the hell. Excuse me. And that's how they get us. That's the whole way that they've, turned it in on us. These people who are vile murderers. How many kids did the guy that they murdered have? And the kids have to grow up without a loved one, right? Their whole lives are maybe not totally ruined, but at risk of being ruined, and certainly going to be like disastrous and hell on earth. Why don't they just, from that point on, the movie should just like take a turn and forget about the Corleones and all the families and all that kind of stuff, but follow the kids of the guy that they shot when they took the cannolis, and find out how the people who loved them and didn't maybe know anything about all the crime or whatever, like little kids or something, were affected by their sudden bloody, violent murder out of nowhere. And it's just, then just follow that, follow the tragedy of it, the reality behind who these fiendish monsters really are. And, I guess, in our lives, with so much hatred toward humanity that's exhibited by our vile politicians and the corporations that and billionaires that preserve their positions of power, I guess we could kind of cut them some slack, because now the ultimate murderers are our government and not these criminals. So they already have like a little built-in opportunity there to find a little bit of a, I don't know, more positive spin on criminals. But that's, we took the bait on that one, because these are horrible. They're all horrible monsters. And it's and so much of what the power apparatus in this world is in our country is a sort of monopoly on violence and destructiveness that people have to face just to survive in this world. It's either criminals or the government, and they're blended together now. This whole thing with the CIA being the number one drug dealer in the planet is, that 23,000 people in Mexico die every single year as part of the drug war. Oh, God. Part of the drug war, 23,000 Mexicans every year die. And that's not from doing the drugs. It's from fighting, duking it out for territory and smuggling stuff and whatnot. All just because we can't comprehend a world where we're not high. So many people can't face the goddamn world, and we have to party and get blitzed out. And a lot of that is also programming. You see people like Katy Perry last Friday night promoting blackout drunk as being a fun thing, and she's dressed up like a 16-year-old with the braces on and all that kind of stuff, and she's so happy about how she got blacked out drunk and raped, and wakes up with black and blue marks all over her neck next to somebody she doesn't even know. And she can't wait to do it again. You hear stuff like that just relentlessly pounded into our heads by Clear Channel, iHeartRadio, and Live Nation, and by every goddamn stupid ass sellout that they parade in front of us all the time. And it's just so disheartening to know that it's all programming. It's all putting us on a path of self-destruction, so that we will kill off ourselves, we will hate ourselves, we will hate others, and we will do all the work, all the heavy lifting for them so they don't have to put us in our place. Now, they would probably put us in our place if we were all getting along together, but at least we know, at least we really, sort of blatant so that we can see the enemy for what it was instead of them hiding in the shadows and all this nastiness. Anyway, so this top 10 topic is spin-offs of the one line from the Godfather movie that betrays what they're really all about. They murdered somebody and they care about the cannolis and we laugh. Okay, so this is a spin-off of the line, or top 10 spin-offs, worst of spin-offs, of the leave the gun, take the cannoli line from the Godfather. Okay? Sorry it took me so long to figure that out. All right, number 10 of the top 10 spin-offs of the Loving Like Cannoli line from The Godfather. Leave the Arc de Triomphe, take the Branzino. Woo! Woo! That was a good one. A good opening salvo on the top 10 worst of list. Number 9 of the top 10 spin-offs of the Leave the Gun, take the Cannoli line. Leave the poison tip Chiari darts, take the fruitcake. See, I blew that one. I didn't... You see, I need to read this stuff before I do the list, because I stepped on my own material yet again, as is so regrettably often the case. Hang on. Yes, that was wrong. And this is by the way, I neglected to introduce my co-host for today's show. Cheap ass / free online sound effects console that just buzzed me for screwing up. All right, well, hey, the best laid plans, am I right? Number 8 in the top 10 spin-off that'll leave the gun, take the cannoli line. Leave the stereo receiver components and take the scungili. Sti spumantis. What do you think about that one? Free of sound effects console. I think I'm winning over the sound effects console just a little better with that one. Now let's see what we got next here from number 7. Top 10 spin-offs of the Leave the Gun, Take the Cannoli line from The Godfather. Leave the Monopoly game board, take the Mickey Mantle mint condition rookie card. Won't it be funny when all the like collectibles and things have been pretty much sort of growing in value and fan aficionados and stuff like that. When the AI robots come to eliminate the human race, how worthless all that stuff's going to be. It's going to be sitting, people have big garages full of stuff or big trophy rooms and stuff. This is the original sketch that Spinal Tap did in the movie Spinal Tap, where they have sketch out the Stonehenge at the late night restaurants, and here's an original Tampax from Madonna's first Blonde Ambition tour. I think Special Effects Console has something to say about that. Oh man, I'm back in the red with the Special Effects Console. Oh well, number 10, that's top 10 worst spin-offs of the Leave the Gun, Take the Cannoli line from The Godfather. Leave the Indica, take the Sativa. Nice. Puff, puff, pass. I need to do a lot more Pup Pup Pass top 10 worst of lists. That we've received a lot of complaints about that, in fact, because this top 10 list doesn't have enough drug humor. Number 5, the top 10 worst spin-offs of the Leave the Gun, Take the Cannoli line from The Godfather. Leave the salt lick, take the breast milk. I'm trying to ring them both at the same time. Not doing good. God damn it! My bell clapper needs the WD-40s. Number 4, the top 10 worst spin-offs of the Leave the Gun, Take the Cannoli line. Leave the duck butter, take the Deep Space Nine complete series DVD. Goddamn clapper. Duck butter. All right, number 3, the top 10 worst. Just blowing through this list. This list has absolutely no relevance to anything. It's just a bunch of stupid ass stream of consciousness garbage. Number 10, top 10 worst spin-offs of the Leave the Gun, Take the Cannoli line. Leave the sea anemone, take the fungo bat. Fungo bat. Well, like about 2 people in the entire universe even know what a fungo bat is. It's a goddamn practice bat for, what do they call it? Wounded ducks in the baseball parlance. It's a practice bat for baseball. Like you care. Number 2 of the top 10 worst spin-offs of the Leave the Gun, Take the Cannoli line from The Godfather. Leave the used condom, take the ambergris. Whale fat. Rendered whale fat. You know, I've been asked many times, if I would be willing to use my lipo squeezings to sell to perfume companies. Thus far, things haven't gotten quite that bad, but I gotta admit, as time goes on, and as this continues to be this, it's getting more, those after offers are getting more attractive. Unfortunately, I'm not, but the offers are getting more attractive. And the number 1 of the top 10 worst spin-offs of the Leave the Gun, Take the Cannoli line from The Godfather. Leave the raw human ass meat kebabs, take the strychnine-laced fettuccine Alfredo. There we go. Now the human, there's absolutely nobody, speaking of fungo bats, there's absolutely nobody who's going to get the raw human ass meat kebabs reference. There is a guy named, Robert Evans, who's the head of Paramount during the 70s heydays, like the Rosemary's Baby and the Godfathers and Chinatown. And he is I don't know anything about him personally and how abusive he was. I'm sure he was massively abusive. But he had an absolutely hysterical personality and had a super funny, quirky sounding voice and was just, to me, hysterical. And I think to a lot of other people, he did a book that was very funny. He did a movie version of it. Excuse me. The Kid Stays in the Picture. And he had a short run cartoon series, I think, on Comedy Central. I forget what it's called, but something about Robert Evans, something. The Adventures of Robert Evans, something. And in one of the episodes, it's just a wacky ass. I mean, they only did like about 6 episodes of it, but it's wacky as hell. And it goes wherever it feels like going to, for the most part. And there's this part where he gets stuck in the desert with his butler, who he's abusive to all the time. And he says, look, we're going to have to carve up your ass meat so that we have something to eat so we don't die. So he makes human ass meat kebabs out of makeshift barbecue out in the middle of the desert out of his butler's ass. So there's a little Robert Evans history for you connection. Wow, what a great top 10 worst of list. Perhaps the best one I've ever seen or even been associated with. And I've been associated with some of the finest. 3 out of the top 10 worst of lists in the top 10 worst of list Hall of Fame. I have been the narrator for. So I know my top 10 worst of lists, mister, or Mrs. or something, whatever. I don't care. But what a pleasure it's been. I mean, I feel so fulfilled. I feel spent. I want to go out. I want to make love on the Amalfi Coast. Anyway, so come turn in next time to tomorrow, I think, in fact, when we feature top 10 worst times to slap a cop in the face with your ball meat. Don't forget to be good to each other, and we'll catch you. Oh, wait, one more